Today's tale starts, and I'd like to talk about a few new features that got added into Battle Brothers today. So the first one is the new permanent destruction tick box. So if it's ticked, any of your settlements that get raised will forever stay raised, right? So they're never going to come back, they're gone. They have now added this, thank God, that you can untick this and basically your stuff's going to come back after some time, which is great because sometimes you just can't help it and someone gets wrecked by the old greenskins, even the war, the undead scourge, and kind of wrecks your game if your cities are gone. So you can play it with it on and never see them again, but if you're like me and want to play the game well into the late game, then I'm going to untick this. Thank you for adding that. So the other second feature I'm going to talk about, and the best one, is the new map seeds. So what this means is your randomly generated maps now come with a seed number. And you can replay maps, or you can find out what other people have played and you can play their maps. This is good for two reasons, because some of the maps are complete garbage. Like you get cities that are islands in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by water, or you get a whole clump of like bigger cities next to each other that you can't do anything with. Generally, there's good maps and there's bad maps. So I'm going to quickly show you a couple of the good maps that people have found and why they're good. So give me a sec and we will crack open the first one here, 5555. So what I've loaded up here is the seed of 5555. And we can see a couple of things for starters. There's quite a few cities. Some of mine have less cities than this, but this one's got quite a few. And none of them, well, there's one of them, old Crumhorn here, which is an island city, but generally it's not a whole load of island cities. You also get things where you can chain together cities, so you can see this one's a neutral, this one's a neutral, this one's a neutral, and I believe this one's a neutral. Nope. Is this one a neutral? So you could basically go from here, here, and probably over to, not there. Alright, so you can go like this, you can chain these cities around. So you've got 4. You also got, a lot of these cities start with pretty good stuff. So you've got hunters' cabins in the forest here. You've got another trapper over here and a peat pit. So you've got some good resources there. You've got over here, I think there's another hunter's cabin. So you're going to get more hunters than this one. So you're never going to be short of archers. Down here, there's actually some good resource cities. So we've got things like, you got dye. Yep, you got dye down here. Pretty sure there's a wool one as well when I was last looking at this map. Have you got wool somewhere? I know there's a couple more resources on this map. So this is an example of a pretty good map. The one disadvantage is there's no road in the middle. So between north and south, you're a little cut off. But say if you picked the war, you've probably got a pretty good chance to crush the old south there. If you want to pretend you're kings of the north or something like that. So we've also got, we had resources somewhere. But if we have a look at, I looked at one of these towns. So this is a main settlement, right? And we are talking a blast furnace, ore smelters, workshops. So I mean, if you need to pick up supplies, old Wolfenstein is a pretty good place to pick it up. So I'd be pretty happy to take on the old Reds here. House Horn. Jesus. They got an unfortunate name, didn't they? Alright, I'll show you another one of the seeds that's pretty good. So here we have another one of the seeds, and I'll show you a quick thing. If you want to see what seed you're running, if you just hit the escape key, bring up your menu here, it tells you the map seed right here in the middle. Unfortunately, I've noticed for my older saves that you do not get the map seed for anything that was before the patch, but after the patch, it now shows the map seed. The other thing I'd like to mention is when you start these, the Battle Brothers tend to have the same skills every time. So in that 55-55 map, the Battle Brothers have some pretty good skills. I mean, pretty good. In this one, they're alright. I mean, you get things like Optimist, you got Iron Jaw here, and you've got Bright. But that 55 one, man, the skills on those guys is pretty nice. And once again, this one here, this through 1, 4B, F3, it's pretty good. So we've got no island cities. We do have a lot of resources on this map. So I know we've got wool down here. We have dye here. I'm pretty sure up here there is some copper veins. Iron, my mistake. I know there's some copper in here. There's a bunch of amber. There's actually quite a few on this one. Quite a few resources. So the reason you want resources is the more there is, the more there's to trade. So say you've accidentally ended up down here, you've run out of missions, you're about to go somewhere else. You just pick up the amber before you leave, and voila, you have instant profit on when you leave, as long as you got decent relationships. Also, there's a bit of chaining that you can do on this one. So it's always nice for the bigger cities to be sort of spread out. So I know you can do Norheim down to Coppingen over here. I'm pretty sure you can do... Nope, you can't do Isomol. Pretty sure you can do here and up here. So you've got a fair spread before you hit any of the neutral areas, the actual just the fortifications where you can't do things till later on. But you get some, you get a nice chain going like this, and then by the time you get down to here, and you get over here, you can sell your goods. These come with pretty good stuff on them. There's only an ore smelter on this one, but I'm pretty sure some of these other ones have nice things. Also, lumber camps for lumberjacks. I'm sure there's a village around here somewhere with bow makers. Can't quite remember where. But yeah, these maps are pretty good. So the things you want to steer away from when you're getting a map is obviously the ones that have a whole bunch of islands and just horrible, painful pathing where you get stuck in swamps. It takes you forever to get around the map. The reason that's terrible is anytime you lose getting around the map is time you're not doing missions. I mean, it's time you can heal, but if you're just wanting to get from city to city, you just want to get there the fastest you can. And you're basically looking for a lot of towns connected by a lot of roads and nothing that's going to slow you down. Once again, north to south cut off to some degree. There is a road over here though. So you can hop on this road, you can come down here, you can go to Sandhorn, and then you spit out the other side. You do hit 2 cities there that you can't really do much with till you've obviously filled the ambition. But other than that, you then hit over here. So you go to Sudfeste, which is another ambition town. But you get down here and suddenly you're back on Easy Street when you're hitting all these places up for, some good missions hopefully. And that's it. So I just wanted to introduce the fact that they now do map seeds, which is a great way. I would keep an eye out, like places like Reddit, people are going through map seed after map seed and picking out really nice ones. Ones like this. Also, I enjoy these massive wildlands. Just basically lets you go explore. You just pick up like a whole, week's worth of rations and you just run out to the wildlands. And that's all. So 55, give it a go. It looks pretty nice. And also turn off your permanent destruction there. I think it is ticked by default on my one. Let's have a quick look, if we quit out of here and we'll crank up a new one. So I have unticked it. So I think as long as you've unticked it, it won't come back. but I know when I first looked it was ticked, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to turn it off forever because I want my end game to at least remain viable after the fact. And that's it. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks for Battle Brothers. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. If you like what you've seen, hit that subscribe button or leave me a comment on anything you want to see in the future.